Hey, it's Bitty Penny. Today I'm going to be working with a button theme, buttons and stitches, something I don't do very often. I'm really trying to get my head back in the game of making a junk journal. I have a very special one to make for my niece who's gotten married during the quarantine. I want to make her a wedding journal for her first year of marriage. So I'm using some thread that I had in my stash. I'm also using this Stampin' Up. It's on the last chance list right now of the buttons, and I'm just incorporating these two together because they're kind of perfect. Gluing down the fabric, and then I pulled this button from my stash and the embroidery floss, and I thought they all went really well together. So I'm stitching this through the front so I can tie a bow. And I'm thinking this will probably go to a crafty friend so they can just simply untie the little bow and use the button in their project. So this isn't really my style necessarily, or it's not something I would typically go for, but when you're making cards, you have to make cards for all types of people and all styles, right? Because you're not making them for yourself in a sense. So but it was fun. It was fun. So here I'm separating the embroidery floss and thinning it. Oh boy, I can't talk today. And I'm just putting it through a different kind of needle that has a sharper point on it. And then I'm going to follow the pattern in the embossing paper to do just a little bit of stitching. I'm not going to go crazy. I just want to add a little more hand stitching to it and bring out some of the details of the embossed paper. So that's what I'm working on here. And when I'm doing this, I just glue down the backs. I don't worry about a bunch of knots or any of that stuff. This is going on paper, going on a card. So you don't have to make all those different knots. Of course, you'll see me pull my thread throughout the paper when I'm not intending to, but that's no big deal. And so there it is. I just did 5 for the odd number, and then I'm going to pop this up on foam tape. I figured it's not going to be very friendly to standard mail anyway, so why not make it extra dimensional. Now here I've got a bunch of double backed tape already on there, and I add a bit more, and then you could use an embossing powder for this to take the tackiness out, but I chose just to grab a piece of notebook paper, and I'm just going to cut it down. I'm going to stick it on there, and that way the stickiness of the glue doesn't stick where I don't want it to, causing the card to be uneven. And then I go ahead and pop up some more foam tape. I feel it, and I'm like, yeah, it needs more foam tape. I don't want my cardstock to collapse under pressure, and so that's why I chose to do that. And I left that in because I felt like that might be something you haven't seen before or haven't tried. Right, so I'm just patting this down, getting it adhered, and then I'm going to do the inside of the card. And I brought in this, I don't know if, I'm not a demonstrator. I can't tell you if this is discontinued or not, or on the last chance list. I really don't know. And this is funny. I thought this was a label that would cut out, but it actually just embosses, which is all good. The other funny thing is I actually have a punch for it that I forgot about, and I used this one that's not meant for it, and I really didn't like it, so then I have to go in and fussy cut it anyways. Anyways, I'm making the most of it here. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this greeting off because I don't think I've used it before. And then I'm going to hold that up and make sure that's the color I want to. And that way I can get a good impression and make sure that this is the color that I want. Still not happy, so then I'm like, all right, let me just put some ink around the edges and bring in the goldish color of the buttons. I guess that'll do. And there you have it. So the stamp set, it's funny. I'm about to bring it in besides just the sentiment, and you'll see I had been really drawn to this set for whatever reason. I liked the embossing of the dies that it would do. And then, I thought I would really love the stamps, but I had gotten terrible stamping from them every time before. But this time I really liked it with that Lawn Fawn Moonstone ink. So I'm going to go back and give this stamp set another try, the flowers in it and stuff, and I'm going to use a Lawn Fawn ink and see if I like it better. I was kind of frustrated with it because you spend so much money on these and then it just wouldn't give me a good stamp. So anyways, I'm going to put my Handmade by Betty Penny, and that's it. This one's in the books. Hope you enjoyed.